same space and time, feedback becomes real critical because they have to know you're reading or you're there. And so I use the sort of my pedagogical feedback mechanism is really goes around the idea of a pedagogy of errors, helping students through an iterative process of making mistake, helping them see or position themselves or rethink an issue and improve it. So I give feedback in a very different way, partly because I do staging. In the discussions in particular, my feedback's at the end, which sounds strange because constant feedback's important, but if this faculty does in a comment in a discussion space, what ends up happening, the discussion stops. It stops right with the students. The students go, okay, the instructor is now going to give me all the answers. So feedback for me in those spaces is at the very end, I will give a summary. There's 3 basic paragraphs. All right, the first paragraph is this is what went really well in the discussion. The second one is these are the things that can be improved or that we're missing. And then the third one is if you're interested in this topic, this is what you can go and look. I will pose questions if the students go off in the wrong direction. I will never give them the answer. And the key there is setting up the expectations so they know you haven't left the building, that you're reading those kinds of things. My students say, well, why aren't you in there more? And I said, well, I'm reading your posts and I'm reading the discussion. But I already know this stuff. It's your job as a learner to struggle with the material and learn, and this is that process. So I will only let you know when you're going off in the wrong direction. And the first couple discussions are abysmal. But after that, they get the idea that I'm really not going to save them. They really do have to struggle with material. And then it becomes more valuable to them. So you have to think about learner empowerment in these environments in terms of feedback. So the feedback is like behind the scenes in a way. I become a facilitator giving a lot of feedback. I will give feedback on inappropriate behavior through email. I never do it in a public space because students feel like you're yelling at them because it's there for all time. It's like a book. They can read it all the time. It's really inappropriate. You will see their fellow students give feedback, which is fine, but in terms of the authority figure or the instructor, really need to do that on a personal basis. And then, of course, I give feedback on assignments, and I give my students the opportunity to rewrite or redo, because I believe that you really learn mostly by redoing.